people have lost so much.
So few of
But we
the
shall
Winter
not
Court
lose
left
our
to
minds.
stand against the Tuatha.
We thought our house was invincible. We never imagined that it could be corrupted from within.
The Prismare's sentries stole the will of my house. All our strength was useless against them.
My people have lost so much. But we shall not lose our minds as well.
Good news, I gather? Good. Good. But don't waste your time bragging to me. Sidon's the one you want to be telling.
Godfrey's voice has fallen silent in this land. The Tuatha are frightened and disorganized. They run back to Blademaster to make their final stand. We owe you much. Our eyes are opened and our blades unsheathed. Cluricon is won, but the House of Pride stands between us and the final goal. We are now free to press forward. And I can take you to an old friend who knows the next step. Yes, we will take you to his filthy tower on the island of Gastyr. He hides within, and has not emerged in some time. I would like nothing more than to let him rot there. But he knows of a way past the sentinel of the House of Pride. But there will be more danger on the path ahead. Take these blades to prepare for whatever troubles you will face at his tower or beyond. Far to the southwest, there is a darkened tree by the Caelid coast. Meet me there, and we can walk the shadow to the gnome's tower. Aelin Shear will be waiting there. She was most insistent to join in whatever business you have with the Collector of the Dead. Gastyr Island is sheltered from visitors by stone and storm. Exiles of the Winter Court were once banished to its lonely shores. We know of a secret shadowed path, a legacy from a house all too familiar with exile. We've seen Ventrinio leave the island before, but until recently, he always had company. Usually they were henchmen. Sometimes they were corpses. And once, not too long ago, it was you. My people are no strangers to exile on the barren island of Gastyr. To steal back our freedom, the House of Sorrows forged a path to the coast through living shadow. It's safe so long as you keep your eyes closed during the journey and ignore the whispers. Meet me at the Caelid coast. The Winterfey know of a shadow path to Ventrinio's island. We will meet again at the shadowed tree on the Caelid coast. The House of Sorrows never forgets a debt. Or a grudge. We will meet again at the shadowed tree on the Caelid coast.
Walking through living shadow, eh? I'll leave that one to you. I won't lie. Aylin's been a big help. She saved me once or twice at Melson Shear when she could have just let me die. Still can't shake the feeling that she's hiding something. But whatever it is, it's probably not too sinister. Probably. It's Fey magic. Connects 2 points together like a bridge. I suppose that explains how they got a small group all the way to Dalentarth. No, I think you can handle that one by yourself. I have some work to do with the army in Cluricon.
I'll take my vengeance from the Tuatha's hide.
A sickness grows in the heart of each Tuatha. I will cut it out. A sickness.
I'll take my vengeance from the Tuatha.
The Tuatha taint my house and twist our power. The Tuatha taint my house and twist.
stay. It's yours.
Through the woods and mountainside, through the hollows and green meadow, through the summer, winter, day and night, through the hallowed halls of seasons and song, through the vengeance, pride and sorrow, echo the footfalls of the greaves of the Fae Hunter.
This forest is where General Finn was last seen with his advance unit. I wonder if he's still alive somewhere. I am fine with marching all over Cluricon. We had been cooped up in Melsenshire for years. Oh, damn. I heard a rumor that the Gastyr heir is still alive, and that she is in the army. Wouldn't that be something? Have you met the bard, Brune? He'll have you smiling, despite everything else that's going on. Well, I expected to see a lot of things out here in Caelid, but not the hero of Melsenshire. What brings you this far south? I am Sergeant Odai, twice decorated officer and now civilian escort. I guess you could say that I'm really working my way up the chain of command. Oh, I never should have ended up here. My family's ship was tossed into the cliffs during a storm, and I was the only survivor. The Ancillas saved me. They raised me as one of their own. I may not be native to these lands, but they are the closest thing I've ever had to a home. No one has called me by my given name in years. I'm just Sergeant now. Been that way for a long while. I used to be a healer, but lost my gifts when the war came. Something about all the carnage, the death, it bled the magic right out of me. So I took up a sword. It was all I could do. We all need to carry our own weight in this tragedy, and mine is to fight. I have allowed 2 citizens to travel within my unit, which I probably should not do. But I have a weakness for those in need. Guess it comes from my past as a healer. Oh, Brune the Bard is not so bad. I actually knew him as a kid, if you can believe that. He's a little excitable, but harmless. I cannot say the same about Alof the Hunter. Strange sort, that one. He insists on staying outside our camp. Says we stand in the way of his quarry. To each his own. Farewell.
Hail, adventurer. I am Brune the Bard, spinner of stories, seeker of adventure. Allow me to welcome you to the Caelid coast, haven to the wise and wicked. These brave soldiers, the finest of the Alfar armies. They escorted me all the way from Melsenshire to these verdant lands. Alas, our journey together has come to an end. But there is still adventure to be had, so join me. If not, then I bid you fair warning. Your journey shall be far less exciting without this storyteller at hand. The wonderful gentlemen and ladies of the Alfar armies have been kind enough to act as my loyal escorts, all the way from Melsenshire, and before that, Erethel. Without these good, hearty folk, I never would have survived. The voyage across the sea would have been enough to sink my spirits. Brune was the name given to me by my mother, the lovely daughter of the full moon. A skin like the glow of alabastra. Long ago, I was the court bard of Castle Gastyr, the teller of tales, the spinner of stories. But when the Bolgan invaded, Well, they had no need of my expertise. This lush land was once the royal domain of two great Alfar families, the Ancillas and the Gastyrs, the most powerful of bloodlines and the most bitter of enemies. For centuries, the two houses warred over the coast. So enamored were they with each other that they blinded themselves to the real threat. And so the Bolgan came and conquered. The houses fell before them. One might say they were toppled by their pride. Lord Gastyr was a very wealthy lord and a powerful landowner. I don't care to speak much more on the subject, thank you. A wise question, and a fair one. As Bard of the Gastyr court, I know all the tales of the Caelid coast, of how this great land rose and fell, and became what it is now. Allow me the pleasure of your company, and I will lead you through these luxuriant lands, spinning stories of times long since past. I had a good feeling about you. Someone who cherishes a good story. Let us proceed. The first stop on our tour begins across the bridge behind me. Alas, there is one small problem. That area is favored by our enemies. If you can clear the area of them, I will follow and join you. We must clear the spot ahead of Bolgan. It is a famous place, and they sully it with their presence and their stench. Goodbye. Excellent work. You are clearly much more proficient in the ways of war than most visitors of the Caelid coast, even the soldiers. It would be my great pleasure. Picture it. 10 years ago, the rising sun, a lingering fog. Somewhere in the forest are screams, the cries of battle. Then silence. It happened here upon this site. The ambush of Gorn Akri. It is here on this spot where the Bolgan drew first blood, killing Lord Gastyr, his son, and their squires during their morning ride. Let us move on, shall we? And if you don't mind, there are more beasts to attend to ahead. The Bolgan have infested the entire area around Castle Gastyr, my old home. Destroy them, and I will relate the tale of the first Lord of Gastyr himself. Goodbye.
The Tuatha have forced their war upon us. They eagerly cut through mortal flesh and mortal bone, and as a reminder of their butchery, they display these mortal corpses throughout the land, turning sanctity into putrescence. The bodies remain on our ground and on our gallows tree, bloated and corrupt.
Done it. You have rid the gates of the Bolgan. As promised, I have another tale to be told. The very first Aaron Gastyr arrived here generations ago from Melsenshir, before the final tower was raised. When the great giants of Cluracan were but saplings, on that very first morning of his arrival, while the sun ascended the sky, Gastyr scaled the heights and saw below him the great keep of the merchant Ancilla. Gastyr could not bear such an intrusion on his new ancestral homeland, and swore an oath. By right of mine, and sword in hand, I will not forsake our native land. Now that you've seen Castle Gastyr, we should move on to the final stop on our journey. The last thing I want to show you is near the coast, on the cliffs overlooking the sea. It's the best story yet, but again, it must be freed of Bolgan. Goodbye. There, you've cleansed this place of the Bolgan. I shall tell you the last tale, the best of the lot. Believe me, these cliffs were made for my story. I will read it, and I will finally know if what my mother told me was true. Then I will destroy it. I want nothing to do with the Gastyrs. My mother never wanted his kingdom. She only wanted his love. That letter has haunted me for 10 years. I will now be rid of it. Of him. Friends. Yes. I suppose we are friends. I'm not sure where to look for Father's letter. Father. Strange to call him that. I would think he'd keep it near, lest such revelations be discovered. The castle. That would make some sense, wouldn't it? I'll be back at camp. Be careful. I'd feel terrible if anything happened to you. I remember my father having a chest near his throne. I always assumed it was where he kept his mother's personal possessions. Goodbye. Castle Gastyr was once a glorious place. I spent many nights in its highest tower, watching the stars glimmer and fade. Goodbye.
The hunter runs. The hunter runs. Swiftly, swiftly for our lives. A mortal skirt of chain. A mesh of links forged in secret. The hunter runs. The hunter runs. In the chausses of the Fey Hunter.
After all this time, I'd just assumed Enadon had abandoned me, that there was no justice left in this world. But here before me stands the hero of Melson Shear, in the skin, fresh from the Baelor's bloodying, and it appears my prayers have been answered. Tell me, how much goodwill do you have left, honored one? I am a captain under what is left of General Talera's army. There are only a handful of us left after Melson Shear, but we press southward toward the Tuatha's lair. However, my quest for justice means more to me than any victory. I have left my soldiers in the capable hands of Captain Canwin. She has moved ahead without me. Yes, I remember Brune. He was kind, silly. There weren't many like him in the court. When everyone else was so grim, Brune and his heart never ceased singing. I wonder how he fares now. I grew up behind the walls of this stronghold. All my memories are of its beauty, its security. It was an ideal childhood. Those days have long since passed. When the Tuatha marched, it was Rassanon who killed my family and claimed Castle Gastyr as his own. And though he may hold the castle, he will never hold its name. I have devoted my entire life to reclaiming this castle, enlisting in the army, fighting under General Tilera, and then breaking free of Melsenshire. This is my destiny. My great-great-grandfather built this keep. You can still find the one stone resting where he laid it in the courtyard. We spent 4 generations in these hallowed halls. Then the Bolgan came, followed by their Tuatha masters. They killed everyone, Fae and Alfar alike. Rassanon was the worst of them. He murdered my mother and now sleeps in my family's chambers. With your help, honored one, my family will find restitution. You will be rewarded, my friend. We Gastyrs have long memories of both our friends and our enemies. Come. Rassanon knows I cannot pass through his gauntlet alone, but together we can avenge Castle Gastyr. It has stood here on the Caelid coast for centuries, a testament to the will of my ancestors. Rassanon made it a grave. Now I will make it his. Were you not told the stories as a child of Rassanon the Ravager? Rassanon the Red-Eyed? He was one of the first to give himself to Gadflow. It is my life's work to make him answer for his crimes. Old as I am, he is older. And I don't want him to die without knowing the rage of his killer. The castle has been completely ransacked by the Bolgan, and debris blocks the gate into the castle. We have to go around through the dungeons. Then I will have my revenge. Believe me, it has been far too long in coming. Hurry! What do you need to know? Hurry! Far now. Come. Who knows what Rassilon has waiting for us in his lair? Come. Who knows what Rassilon has waiting for us in his lair? Come. Who knows what Rassilon has waiting for us in his lair? Well done. didn't even seem to remember me. I've given my life to finding and killing Rassilon, and he probably didn't even understand why. But now the quest is ended, here, at home. I want you to have everything of mine as a reward, and to help me forget the many years of tragedy that led me to this end. Now go. I need rest. I deserve rest. These old halls have been held too long by the Bolgan. Castle Gastyr has been left a ruin. Once this war is over, we will rebuild. My days of blades and battles are behind me. With the aid of people like you, I shall rebuild the Caelid coast. The name Gastyr will mean something again. Farewell. This old keep will need some sprucing up, but at least Rassinon's brutes will no longer decorate the halls. Farewell.
You have gone through much to bring me this, only to watch it destroyed. But it must be done. You understand? This letter proves that I am an heir to Gastyr, and an heir to his heartlessness. He gave my mother everything, when all she wanted was his love. And now, she's gone. You are my friend. You may not agree, but that is what I choose to believe. You have helped me more than anyone has. I will remember you. I hope you will remember me. She may be the only one truly worthy of the Gastyr name, superior to her father in every way. I remember Hill. She and I used to play together in the courtyard. I try not to think of her as a sister. It makes matters all the more confusing. Goodbye.